Welcome to episode 7 of the Manager Conversation series. And in this episode, we are focused on holding learning and growth related conversations. So you'll find in the resource pack that you have an email to send out that contains 8 questions. In the email that you'd send to your team members a week or so or a few days before you're holding this conversation, you're sharing with them 8 questions that will help them to reflect on their learning over the previous 2, 3, 4 weeks. And you are also needing to reflect on some of those questions. In the actual conversation, you'll set the scene by introducing them to the idea of a learning conversation and then invite each one of your team members to answer one of those questions. All 8 are not necessary. One might stick with somebody, 1 or 2 might be really interesting for some particular person. So you're really just creating a space to listen to your team members about what they are learning from their own experience and from their own life. As a manager, your job is to create that container where we respect each other, we listen actively, we're curious to learn what might be behind that answer or what made that question stand out. Your presence, your attention, and making sure that people aren't interrupting each other is really the purpose of holding a learning conversation in a team. We would recommend that you take note of what people are saying for follow-up conversations in one-on-ones that you might have with them over the course of the next month or well beyond that would be, I remember you saying that you particularly found managing that feedback from the director quite difficult. How are you coping with that now? Or how has your learning about feedback changed since we spoke about it in the Manager Conversation series? So that's essentially how it works. You'd invite participation from different people, be prepared to share yourself. In fact, my advice would be set the tone by sharing an answer to one of those 8 questions yourself first, because then you can decide where you're going to pitch this. And if you pitch it as very light and airy and fun and funny and just kind of humorous, then expect everybody else to pitch their responses in the same place. But if you are vulnerable and open and say that this experience was difficult for you and this is what you reflected and how you've learned from it, then you can expect others to meet you there. So good luck with this conversation. We'd love to help you with it. If you would like some assistance, please do reach out. And it really is a great opportunity to create an environment where learning is promoted and fostered and encouraged.